Hello and welcome. My name is Nathan Confer and I'm going to be showing you Google Meet features today and what they're used for. Please feel free to pause, rewind, or skip ahead in the video to the part of your choosing. Now let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is to open Google Meet. How we do that easily is by going to the Finder, opening up Applications, and double-clicking on Google Chrome. Or if you have this icon in your dock already, feel free to double-click on that now. You will be brought to this screen here, the Google homepage. To get to Google Meet, you just want to go to the app straight up here, and then scroll down to where it says Meet. Clicking on this will begin to load the Google Meet homepage. We're going to be learning how to create a link and why we have a certain way of naming the link, specific to SCASD users. As an example for a link, this is very helpful for when you have meetings that you want to join first, but you also want to be first and to obtain the host controls within the meeting without letting the students come in before you. How we format the link is as follows: https:// then g.co/meet/ your last name and your room number in your building. Once you have this link typed out correctly, as follows, double click or Command A on your keyboard to select all, and then hit Copy or Command C. What this will do is copy the link to your clipboard, and you will be able to paste the link into your Clever homepage so you are able to create your Google Meet homepage as a teacher. Once we're done typing the link out, go ahead and hit Enter. This is going to load the meeting and it's going to initialize it in Google's back-end system. This is the page you will be brought to once you finish formatting your link correctly and hitting Enter. This, however, does not initialize the meeting in Google's back-end. To do so, which is very important and crucial to allow students not to enter your meeting before you, is to hit Join Now. Once you hit Join Now and you see your meeting name here, feel free to exit out of this box, and then you can see your own user's avatar right here. When you see your avatar in the Google Meet link that you opened by typing and manually assigning your name and building number to, you now know that the meeting has been started, opened, and initialized. Now you're ready for participants to enter the meeting at their leisure. In this segment, we're going to be learning how to create the Google Meet link inside your Clever page. Simply navigate to your Teacher Clever page, and in the bottom right hand corner, you'll see this green button with the plus sign that says Add. Simply click, and then click on Link. This is where we're going to input our named meeting link. The link goes up top in the box that says Paste Link Here. So again, we can either paste this entire link if you already have it copied, or you can type it out manually like I'm going to do now. If you do not have it already copied to your clipboard, go ahead and do so now, just to save you some time in the future. This is where we can name the link something friendly so our users can understand what the link is for quickly. Here you can select a category, but by default, the newly added category is already picked. Lastly, we can pick an icon. Once you have everything set in these boxes, click Add Link. Now you can see on Clever, the icon is now created, named, and ready to go. Students can now visit your Clever page quickly and get to your Google Meet link even faster. If we click on this link, it's going to redirect us to Google Meet in a new tab. Doing so will also ask you if your camera and microphone is allowed to run these settings. Simply hit Dismiss and Allow. If you have any of these dialog boxes that pop up on your Mac, make sure you hit Allow. Again, if you haven't joined your own meeting by now, make sure you hit Join Now to initialize it and activate it in Google's backend. If you join the meeting first as a teacher or host, you should obtain the host controls within Google Meet. To see how you have the host controls, in the bottom left corner to the right of your meeting name, you'll see a blue shield icon. Hovering over will reveal the alternative text, Host Controls. If you click on the shield, you'll be presented with a dialog box that has 3 settings. The first is Quick Access. Quick Access basically means anybody that is able to join your link or your meeting through the link that you shared with your Google Meet, they are able to join without being invited or allowed in the meeting manually. Next, below you see Share Their Screen and Send Chat Messages. These 2 settings are just that. Sharing their screen means any participant in the meeting can share their screen freely, and the same thing goes for sending chat messages. All 3 of these settings are enabled by default for everybody. As a host, you can disable these and they will be enabled in real time, meaning that your users or students in the meeting will see these settings disabled or enabled in real time. The best way to access the host controls is by clicking on the blue shield. You can also click View All Host Controls. As you can see, the 3 settings that we covered previously are the only settings that they have currently. During the making of this video, Quick Access, Share Their Screen, and Send Chat Messages are the only 3 settings that we are able to see here. You can also see that below each heading, there is a brief description of what the setting does. The last way to get to host controls is by going to the More Options 3 vertical dots in the bottom right, and then click Settings, and then on the left-hand side you'll see a list, Audio, Video, and Host Controls. Simply click Host Controls, and you will be brought to the Host Controls box. In this part, we're going to be covering Breakout Rooms. This feature is very sought after as it allows teachers to break students up into smaller groups for discussion and collaboration virtually. Once you're in the meeting with your students, how you want to access Breakout Rooms is very simple. You just want to go to the top right where the little blocks are, or the Activities button. You'll see Breakout Rooms in the first of the list here. Clicking on this will allow you to begin setting up the Breakout Rooms. Once we click Set Up Breakout Rooms, you can see you have a plethora of options displayed. The first, up here, it says Rooms. When it says 2, it's referring to 2 breakout rooms. So if we want to up this to 6 rooms, we just simply click until we have 6. From the main call area, you can drag users into each breakout room easily by simply clicking, dragging, and letting go of the student or participant in the appropriate breakout room. You can also set a timer for the breakout rooms to start and end in. If you don't want to manually shuffle the students up in the breakout rooms, you can simply click the Shuffle button and the system will do it for you. If you have a better idea on collaboration and group discussion, just hit Clear and then Cancel Changes. Once we have all the students in the breakout rooms and we're ready to open the rooms, simply click on the green button below, Open Rooms. What this will do is start the breakout room sessions. Now you as the host have the ability to jump between each breakout room to monitor the discussion, as if you were walking around in the classroom and monitoring the kids in each group. If I want to join and listen to the students in breakout room 2, I would just simply click Join. As you can see, I am now in breakout room 2. After collaborating with the students in breakout room 2, I can leave. I can go to the main call, and then I can go to another breakout room. You can do this as much as you want in the meeting. If you want to make a change to the breakout rooms that you have already set up, simply click Edit Rooms. This will return us to the main editing screen of the breakout rooms before we open them. If we want to go back to our breakout room sessions, just hit Save, and then it will come back to the multiple breakout room session screen. If we want to close all the rooms and return to our main call where everybody is visible and able to talk, simply click Close Rooms. When you click Close All Rooms, there will be a timer at the top of the screen displayed in red. This indicates a warning, a 30-second warning for the students and the host to prepare to be back in the main call. If you prefer to end the breakout room session now, simply go over to where it says Breakout Rooms and Close Rooms Now. After this, we will be returned to the main call where everybody is visible and able to talk. The next feature we're going to be diving into is called Polls. Polls can be accessed from the Activities Blocks button. Just like Breakout Rooms, simply click to get started. To start a poll, click on this button. Start by asking a question. Using the Tab key on your keyboard, you can scroll down and start typing the answers to the question. Clicking Add an Option will let you add more answers. If you want to save the poll for later viewing, click on Save. This will not launch the poll, but it will save it to the meeting. If you hit Edit, this will open up the editing options again, and it will retain the answers that you have already inputted and the question. If you'd like to launch the poll for your users now, click on Launch. When you see the Live button, this indicates that this poll is in real time being broadcasted to your users. If you want the results to be anonymous and hidden, do not enable this button. On the contrary, if you want your users to see the results, go ahead and click this button and it will enable the results to be seen by everybody. You can also create multiple polls at the same time. Simply click Add a Poll and add another question. Again, to save the poll for later viewing, make sure you click Save. Or if you want to directly launch it right now, you can launch. As you can see, both of these polls are live, meaning that the users in the meeting are able to answer the polls right now. If you want to end one of the polls, you are able to. But you can also see the first poll that we launched is still live. Now all polls are ended. If we go out of the meeting and we actually hang up in the meeting, say if the kids are on a break for recess or a mask break, we can actually go back into the meeting by hitting Rejoin or going back into the Clever meeting that you have. And you can see not only Breakout Rooms is retained, but polls are as well. Next, we're going to jump into how to unmute, mute, and enable and disable the video in your Google Meet. At the bottom, you can see that there are 3 buttons. The centermost one is how you hang up in a Google Meet meeting. When you do this, you are leaving the call, meaning that your account will leave the meeting and nobody will be able to contact you through the meeting until you rejoin again. This is the same across the board for all users in our SCASD environment. To the left, we have the microphone button. When it is red and the microphone and the line through the microphone is white, that means that you are muted. That also means users in the meeting will not be able to hear you until you unmute yourself. When you unmute yourself, it'll simply just revert the colors. Now you can see your avatar in the meeting has this ripple effect, and in the bottom left here where it says you or another person's name, if you are looking at a different person, you will see these green bars jumping. This indicates that there is microphone traffic coming through your computer. If we unmute the video, you'll simply see me, your narrator, Nathan. When your camera turns on your Mac, it will obviously go to the FaceTime HD camera. If you have other cameras such as a webcam or a document camera, you can also switch between those, and we're going to be learning about that here momentarily. When we go to switch the cameras, we can go to the More Options 3 vertical buttons here. Then we want to go to Settings, and then Video. If you have your document camera and or Logitech camera, or your FaceTime HD camera, or even an external webcam hooked up to your computer. This is where you will change between those devices. When they're plugged in and connected to your computer, you will see multiple other options here below, and not only FaceTime HD. For dock cams, it's typically Epson or EP and then a few other letters preceding. For Logitech cameras that we placed in rooms in the district buildings, you will see Logitech or another name, but it will say webcam. Simply click on that device and wait a few seconds, typically about 10 to 15 seconds at the max, for the camera to open, initialize, and begin shooting. You can also change the input and output of the sound and mic within your Google Meet. Simply go to the microphone to change the input of the sound. As an example, I'm using my headphones. If I want to use the internal mic, I can just click on MacBook Pro mic. But you can see it's using external microphone, which is the microphone I have attached to my headphones. For speakers, this is what you want to change when you want the sound to come through your laptop or through the projector speaker in the room. You can also use an external set of speakers, such as computer speakers. Moving to the right of the Leave Call button, we see another button, Raise Hand. The Raise Hand feature is just that. It's how students and participants can raise their hand virtually in the Google Meet meeting. If we simply click on this, you as the user or the person that clicked on it in your meeting will now display a little hand icon in the bottom right corner of your meeting. You can also view and organize by this by going to the Peoples tab. When you hit Show Everyone, you can simply see the raised hand individuals and everybody in the call that either has their hand raised or not. Where it says Raised Hands, all the users that have their hands raised will appear here. As the host, you're able to lower all by simply clicking this button, or you can lower individual hands easily by clicking Lower next to the individual's name. As you can see, the raised hands area disappears and the hand icon disappears as well. Once everybody's hands are lowered, the raised hands area will disappear. The more people raise their hands, the more individuals will show up under the raised hands option. Next to the raised hand feature, we see Turn on Captions. Closed captions is basically when your voice is being transcribed into words. So when Captions has been turned on, you will see the dialogue appear on the screen in your Google Meet. It does its best to transcribe your voice into words so users don't have to listen, but read your dialogue. Simply click on this button again to disable closed captions. Next, we're going to be looking at how to present your screen. There are several ways we can accomplish this, so let's get started. If we click on the Present Now button, you'll be presented with 3 different options. The best way to present a video to your in-class and remote students is a tab. If you click on a tab, a dialog box will come up and it will ask you what Chrome tab you would like to share. For this, you want to select the tab that is playing the video with the audio. So if you have a tab here that says YouTube and that's the video you want to share to your class in school and remote, you want to select that tab, and then that tab will be shared to your class. The next option is a window. If you click on a window, it will bring up all the applications that you have open and their separate windows. To share one, simply you just click and then click Share. If you get another dialog box that comes up that prompts you to activate a permission on your computer to do so, please unlock the padlock and give it permission. Lastly, your entire screen. This means that you will present any screen that you have projecting from your laptop. So for this instance, I have my current monitor, which is an external monitor that I'm plugging into my laptop, and my laptop screen. When you select the screen that you want to project, it will project everything from the menu bar down to the dock. This is really useful if you plan on switching panes, switching applications quickly, or switching up the content on the screen for your kids to see. In this part of the video, we're going to be learning how we can pin ourselves and only ourselves to the view, or how we can add ourselves to the list of students or participants that are already in the meeting view. When you have 2 or more individuals in the meeting, these options will be able to be used. On the top right, you'll see a little grid of apps. It says Show in a Tile. If we click this, the host of the meeting and the other participants are all now seen. If you'd like to just pin your view and only yourself, you'll have to click on this little thumbtack that says Pin to Screen. If we do so, you can see that my avatar has taken up the entire screen. Click the thumbtack to unpin, and click the little grid of squares to remove the tile. Another great feature that Google Meet has added is the ability to change the layout of the participants in the meeting. Go ahead and click More Options, and then Change Layout. You have several options here to choose from, and the way that they are displayed in the meeting are displayed to the right of that selection. At the bottom, you can see the number 16. This is the amount of participants that are allowed to be shown on the screen at once. This number does not include you as the host. So if you have a lot of users or students joining into your meeting, you may want to use one of the higher value numbers to indicate the amount of users you would like to display on the screen at one time. A couple more options that Google Meet offers is as follows. Go ahead and open the More Options 3 vertical menu. At the top, you see Whiteboard, which is basically Google's version of an online virtual whiteboard. When you open this, you can simply interact with your students by starting a new board or choosing a board that you have saved in your Google Drive. This is the exact same behavior that teachers would use a whiteboard as in the classroom, but in a virtual manner. If we go back to the More Options, we can see Record Meeting. Record Meeting basically allows the host to record the meeting and save it for offline viewing. When the meeting is being recorded from the beginning, users will first receive a notice on their computer screens asking for consent. This basically is asking the user if it is okay for them to be recorded while the host records the meeting. When the meeting is finished, it will basically save to the host's Google Drive in a Google Meeting folder. The full screen option gives the host to take the meeting full screen. This basically expands the Google Meet window to the full screen and display of the laptop they are using. If we go to Change Background, you'll see there is a lot of options to pick from. Unfortunately, we are not able to force the ability to turn on or off this feature. At the top, you can see you can turn off backgrounds. In the middle, you can slightly blur your camera and what's behind you. To the right, you can really blur your camera, so if you want something blurred out in the background, such as a picture or a drawing, you can do that. The below images are simply just backgrounds that people can use to make it more fun and more personable for them in their Google Meet meetings. Turn on captions is the same as turning on captions right here, as we covered previously in this video. As we conclude the video, we're going to be touching on 3 other features: inviting users, kicking them, and how to invite the users back if they are kicked. So let's start off by looking at how we invite a user. While in the meeting, go up to the Peoples tab, and you will see the button Add People. If we click on this, we can begin typing out the name of the user we want to invite back. To invite this user, simply click on the name, so the first and last name of the user appears up here, and then you want to click Send Email. What this will do is it will send an invitation email to their district email, and when they click on Join Meeting, they will be prompted to join this meeting that you've invited them to. Now, if a user is being loud or disruptive, or for any reason that you need to remove them from the meeting, simply go back up to the Peoples tab, go down to the user, and click on the More Actions 3 vertical dots. This will allow you to pin to the screen and remove from the meeting. If we remove this user from the meeting, we want to click Remove from Meeting. then proceed to where it says Remove. This user has now been removed from the meeting via the host. If we want to have them back in the meeting, you have to go back into the Add People button and then type in their name and send them the invitation email. Since we are at the end of this video, we wanted to talk about some frequently asked questions. The first question we're going to go over is, does Google Meet allow students to join before the teacher? The answer is that kindergarten to 8th grade are not able to join before the teacher, but 9th grade to 12th grade are able to. Pairs and student teachers may also be able to join before the teacher, and if they do, they will receive the host controls. How you can combat this, if someone else gets the host controls, other than the teacher themselves, you can simply have everybody leave the meeting for 15 to 20 minutes, and then have everybody join back in, but the host must join first. Another question we get often is, what is the recommended way for creating the meeting? We highly recommend using named meetings, as the direct link will change when the meeting is closed, but using named meetings allows the link to stay the same regardless of the actual URL. Congratulations, you made it to the very end of the video. By now, we touched on every feature that Google Meet offers as of the making of this video. If you have any other questions, please feel free to submit a ticket on behalf of the Help Desk portal at the State College Area School District website. Thank you again for tuning in and watching. My name is Nathan Confer, and I will see you in the next one.